So you think a biology degree just leads to a lab coat and a microscope? Well, guess what? You are in for a huge surprise. The truth is, it's actually a launch pad for some of the most incredible adventures you can imagine. We're talking about careers that'll take you way beyond the classroom and right into the heart of solving our world's biggest challenges.
Yeah, seriously, think again. Let's just bust that old myth right now. That stereotype of a biologist, it's like one tiny piece of a giant, amazing puzzle. Today, we're going to look at biology as this high stakes adventure, a career path that's all about saving lives and protecting our entire planet. And we're going to break it down into two major frontiers where you can make a real impact.
All right, so let's jump into our first frontier, saving lives. Now, this is probably what most people think of when they hear biology career, that direct, hands-on work of making people healthier. And yeah, it is the big league. This is where biologists are on the front lines day in and day out. And of course, the most obvious path here is medicine and surgery. I mean, these are the lifesavers we see in action, right? The heroes in the operating room, the experts in the clinic. If you're someone who wants to work directly with human life and see the impact of your work right away, this is pretty much the ultimate career. So, what's the mission exactly? Well, it all boils down to two things: diagnosis and treatment. You could be playing detective, trying to solve the puzzle of some mysterious illness, or you could be in surgery, performing these incredibly precise, high-stakes procedures to fix what's broken. It's a huge responsibility for sure, but also just a profound way to put all that biology knowledge to use. Now, the path to get there, it's definitely demanding, but it's also really clear. It all starts after you finish your high school biology studies, and then dive into a super intensive medical degree program. It's a long road, no doubt about it, but man, it puts you right at the center of everything in human healthcare.
Okay, but what if being in the operating room isn't your thing? What if you want to save lives, but maybe from behind the scenes? Well, there are other careers out there that are just as critical, even if they're a little less obvious. Let's pull back the curtain on a couple of these hidden paths.
Okay, so on one hand, you've got forensic science. This is where biology basically becomes detective work. Think CSI. You're in the lab, working with police, analyzing biological evidence from crime scenes to catch the bad guys. Then, on the other hand, you've got the healthcare strategists. These are the masterminds who stop public health disasters before they even start, creating huge campaigns to fight things like cancer or dengue fever. Both of these roles, absolutely vital for keeping us all safe and healthy.
All right, let's totally shift gears and move on to our second major frontier. We're kind of zooming out now, moving from saving individual human lives to sustaining all life on Earth. This is for the guardians of the wild, the protectors of our ecosystems, and the people who literally feed the world.
So, first up in this new frontier, fisheries. If you love the water and you want to help solve one of the biggest challenges on the planet, world hunger, then this might just be your calling. And listen, this isn't just about catching fish. We're talking about a full-blown blue revolution here.
The mission? It's super scientific and absolutely essential. Boost fish production. People in this field become total experts on habitats, nutrition, even genetics, all so they can raise healthy fish in places like hatcheries. You can think of them as farmers, but for the ocean. They're managing the crops of the sea.
And speaking of feeding the world, we have to talk about agriculture. I mean, in so many places, this isn't just a career path. It's the absolute backbone of the entire economy. It's the fundamental industry that literally keeps everyone going. And the mission here is, well, it's massive. It's all about working with crops and livestock, always innovating, always trying to improve farming tech. And these folks are everywhere. You'll find them in universities creating tougher crops, in government offices setting policy, and even in banks helping to finance the whole operation. Okay, let's zoom in a bit. We've talked about the whole farm, but what about just the animals? That's where animal science, or animal husbandry, comes in. This entire field is dedicated to the health and well-being of our domestic animals. And this is a field that supports a huge range of other industries. Experts here focus on breeding and raising livestock to be healthy and productive. And that work supports everything from vet hospitals and food production all the way to the pet food industry. It's a really big deal. All right, all my green thumbs out there, this one is for you. Horticulture is what happens when you take a passion for gardening and turn it into a high-level science. It's really for the true artists of the natural world. And the work they do is so diverse. Just imagine, one day you could be developing a sweeter kind of fruit or a more vibrant flower. The next, you could be designing a breathtaking landscape for a park or managing a huge nursery. You could even be pioneering new, safer ways to control pests. The possibilities are amazing.
Okay, let's step out of the garden now and go deep into the wilderness. This brings us to forestry. This is a career for anyone who feels that deep connection to nature, someone who doesn't just want to enjoy it, but wants to actively protect it and manage it for the future.
So what does a forester do? Well, it's a really delicate and super important balancing act. On one hand, they're protecting wildlife habitats. On the other, they're managing timber resources that we all use. And through it all, their main goal is to maintain the incredible biodiversity that literally keeps our planet healthy. It's a huge job.
So we've talked about agriculture and animal science as these big fields of study. But farming is where the rubber meets the road. This is the hands-on career. It's all about taking all that amazing biological science and actually using it to manage land and livestock, to put food on our tables. And honestly, someone with a biology background is perfectly suited to run a modern farm, because today's mission isn't what you might think. It's all about developing and maintaining these super specialized high-tech farms. We're talking about incredibly efficient poultry operations, massive fruit orchards, and really innovative vegetable farms. This is science in action? Wow. So we've covered a ton of ground, right? From the high-stakes world of the operating room to the wide-open ocean. But what's the common thread here? What's the secret sauce that connects all these different paths? What does it really take to not just get into one of these fields, but to truly succeed and become a leader? Well, it really comes down to a simple but super powerful toolkit. 3 things. First, you need great communication skills. I mean, what's the point of a world-changing discovery if you can't tell anyone about it? Next, critical thinking. You gotta be able to solve those complex biological puzzles. And finally, self-motivation. That fire inside you that keeps you pushing the boundaries of what we know. And you know, when you boil it all down, this is the main takeaway. It honestly doesn't matter if your uniform is a white lab coat or a pair of muddy hiking boots. A career in biology means you're part of the solution. You're not just studying life anymore, you're actively working to sustain it. So as we wrap up, think about those 2 huge frontiers we talked about, saving human lives and sustaining life on Earth. It really all comes down to one final personal question for you. With all of these incredible tools and all of these amazing paths that biology offers, what problem will you solve?